Today I'm going to be doing the biggest saber unboxing that I have ever done at once. Let's see. We got one. And we got two. So within these two cases from Kyber Sabers, I have something called the Duel of the Fates pack. And it includes Darth Maul's sabers, Obi-Wan's Padawan saber, and of course Qui-Gon's. All from the Phantom Menace, which I conveniently just watched about 12 hours ago before this video. That was not intentional. Now right off the bat, I do want to tell you that this pack is going to cost you around $1,000 depending on which board you select, which yes, that is a lot of credits. But before you all race to the comments to let me know, you can of course buy these sabers individually, and essentially you're just getting a review over all three of these at once, which I don't normally do. So if you do decide to buy the pack, it is actually a money saver because 3 replica sabers, technically 4 with Maul's. There are actually 7 to choose from on Kyber's site, not just the Duel of the Fates here, so there's plenty more to look at, and they are money savers considering you're getting a bunch of replica sabers at once. And you can of course use my code on anything at Kyber's site, plus the worldwide shipping for free. I don't know of anyone else that does that right now. And over on this side, I have the weathered version of Maul sabers, the exact same ones as these. If you don't like the look of the brushed silver, you can also get the weathered version, which I actually think looks better. So I'll be unboxing these, showing you what's in these cases, and then I'm going to show you how to use the hilts, and then we'll take it outside in the dark for a spin test. Before this video ends, you will know everything you need to know about these sabers before you buy them. Let's go ahead and open it up. We have the hilts front and center, which will have bubble wrap on them, but I took all of that off already. Over here on the left side, the first thing in here are the instruction manuals, which are very helpful if you've never owned a Neopixel before. Tells you everything you need to know and how to use it. 2 sets of chargers and your retention screws. This is essentially your tool bag kit. You have some timing rings in case the sabers don't perfectly line up when you twist them together. Some extra buttons and extra screws and Allen tools as well. Inside this bag is the name-plated part for the display stand. Once you have it out of the box and out of the packaging, these stands are actually quite nice. I use them myself for several of my sabers. Moving all the way over here to the right, it's not as complicated. We just have a couple of blade plugs. Typically, I'm not a big fan of the blade plugs that most sabers come with, but these aren't too bad. They're not too bad. I actually quite like the look of them, especially when it's turned on and you just see the gold. It looks pretty good. And you of course have the 2 blades in the back. These are 7/8 inch diameter blades. That means these are really not for dueling. These will most likely break, but they are very light and easy to spin with. We're done with this case. You of course have the 2 hilts front and center again, and these will of course come in bubble wrap like I already said. Starting on the left side again, we have 2 sets of chargers and tools because you have 2 hilts in here. 2 more instruction manuals, 2 more name-plated stands. And all the way to the right, we have 2 blade plugs, one up top, one down below. These 2 are a little bit different than the previous 2. As you can see, these sabers are a little bit bigger and take a 1-inch blade. Speaking of blades, you'll get 2 1-inch blades in the back. I only have 1 in here right now. I just took the other one out. This right here is the reason I'm typically not a fan of the blade plugs that certain sabers come with, because this one sticks out way too much. It's a little bit better in the Obi-Wan, but I'm still not a fan of this look. Alright guys, we're going to quickly run through these sabers, starting with the Padawan Obi-Wan. First thing we're going to do is untwist the bottom pommel, get to the chassis by pulling on this little piece right here, and this will fully remove. So this is a pretty standard chassis. These 3 sabers are pretty similar in almost every single way in terms of the inside and how they function. So we have the SD card, the battery on the back along with the USB-C charging port, and the speaker on the bottom. The top part of the chassis is what will connect to the inside of the hilt so it stays in place. When the chassis is in the correct spot, you will feel it pop in place. We've got the Covertech wheel on the bottom as it should be, and up here we have the 2 main buttons. This is the main power button and the secondary auxiliary button. If you press and hold the main button for 2 seconds, you will get your ignitions, and if you press and hold the auxiliary button for 2 seconds, you will get your blade styles. And if you want to change fonts, all you have to do is press the auxiliary button once.
Tell Hestus. Yoda.
This has gesture controls, of course, so you can twist it on and off. Swing on. And stab on. So that is how you use the Padawan Obi-Wan, which is also very similar to the Darth Maul, almost the exact same actually. We're going to go ahead and move on to the Qui-Gon now. To get to the chassis on this saber, you're going to want to unscrew in this section right here. Slide that off, pull the chassis out. This one looks a little bit different, but overall it is the exact same. You've got the battery on this side, the charger port as well, and on the other side the SD card and the main power button. The only difference is this one isn't connected to the speaker, so if I turn this on now, you won't hear anything until it's connected to the saber. You can unscrew the bottom pommel piece, but it really won't do anything except show you the speaker. The Covertech wheel is on the back of this one, and you can actually fully remove this silver piece if you really wanted to, but there's no need to do that. Now this saber is a one-button setup, meaning all of the functions derive from this single button, but it is the exact same. So you're just going to press and hold this button for 2 seconds for the blade ignitions, and 3 seconds for the blade styles, 4 seconds for your fonts. Press 1, 2. And we have the blade ignitions. Press 1, 2. You can hear ignition 3. Now we're going to hold it for 3 seconds and we'll get the blade styles. Press 1, 2, 3. Press 1, 2, 3, 4. Press 1, 2, 3, 4. And those are the fonts. This does have gesture controls, the exact same ones as the Obi-Wan. To change color, have the saber turned on. Press and hold the button for 2 seconds. Press 1, 2. And you can see it cycling through the colors, and when you find the one that you want, you just press the main button once to confirm that, and it will stay that way. And if you want to get the lockup effect, have the saber on, press and hold it for 1 second. Press 1. Tap it again to get out of it. And that is essentially how you use this saber. Now we're going to move on to the mauls. I'm going to untwist this real quick. So you have the main power button on top, secondary auxiliary button on the bottom. One thing I do want to note about this saber is that when you're spinning it, be careful of the 4 circles and the 2 smaller ones right here, because they can come loose and you may lose them, so just be cautious of that. One thing I really like about the mauls on the bottom is this little logo, which honestly right now I'm having a brain fart and I can't remember what this logo is, but it's on the bottom of both of them and it looks really cool. Like I've already said, this saber operates the same way as these two for getting towards your blade ignitions and blade styles and fonts. On this saber, in order to get to the blade ignitions, you're going to press and hold the main power button for 2 seconds. And to get to the blade styles, you'll do the same thing but on the aux button. And to change fonts, just press the secondary button once. To get to the chassis on this saber, you're going to want to unscrew in this section right here. This one is non-removable, but it is the same type of chassis still. We got the SD card on this side, battery and the USB-C charging port on the other, and the speaker on the bottom. You can untwist this section, but it won't do anything for you. If you have any other questions on how to use these sabers, drop them below in the comments and I will respond and help you guys, but overall, this is everything that you need to know, and it's all in the manual as well. The last thing that I'm going to show you before I spin these sabers are the ignitions and blade styles. All 4 of these sabers come with the same exact setup. You'll get 11 ignitions, 9 blade styles, and 26 fonts, all which can be changed to any color, blade style, or ignition. These are very versatile for those who like the simple stuff and for those who like the crazy stuff.
Ignition 1. Ignition 2. Ignition 3. Ignition 4. Ignition 5. Ignition 6. Ignition 7. Ignition 8. Ignition 9. Ignition 10. Ignition 11. Basic 2. Basic 3. 1.